Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
I don't mean to be rude and cut you off
Yes.
of anything, but it seems like that's where we're getting to go.
Yes.
And what you're talking about may be along the lines of what I'm talking about. It's
Okay.
10:35 right now. I just want to make sure that everybody else has some time to talk, if that's cool.
Okay.
We'll go past 11 if we need to.
We'll go past. You sure about that?
I want to hear this.
Okay.
I want to hear that.
Thank you for the time.
So let's go back to the communication to November of last year. The encounter with the police and the students here, there was no criminal offense that occurred. No crime. So if there's not a crime situation, there's no communication that's going to come from the police department. So to make sure everybody understands, why didn't the police send me a message about whatever? That's not a message for the police department to send. Now, each college has the ability to email people within their college. They do communications within their spaces. So last November, you should have got some information, you didn't. That's important. And then now we go to this, let's fast forward to the vest. The whole vest rollout communication plan was poor, because how can it be a communication about the vest and I not know about it?
I'm sorry, did I hear you say that because there was no crime committed, the police officer didn't report to you that you needed to on someone?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No, what I said was the reason there was no communication to the theater, I'll put it that way,
Okay.
is because no crime was committed. I'm gonna get back to the officer.
Okay.
No crime was committed, so it would not be our role to have that communication in the college about what happened. And it was a college-specific thing.
Because there was no crime committed.
So that communication should be.
They're saying some good stuff right now, boy. They're saying some good stuff.
Good question. Just a bunch of communication that wasn't good. We didn't get the job done in the story. If somebody pulls a gun on you, people react to that differently, and you can feel very, I'm gonna use the word injured by that situation. Right? Somebody points a gun at you, that's a situation that will injure you, and nobody can tell you how you're supposed to feel. Nobody can tell you how long it's going to take you to get over it. You may never get over it, right? It may be slow-lived trauma. It may be you good for 6 months, and then it hits you. It could be somebody else is involved with the situation, and it makes you flash back to your situation, and it hits you. So I want to make sure I acknowledge right up front that if somebody points a gun at you, or you witness somebody dying, a horrific car wreck, if you see some type of trauma, yes, you can be impacted, and you never know when it might hit you. And you never know what your trigger may be. Right? You never know. So I want to make sure I'm spending a lot of time on that point, because that's very important. So I'm certainly not trying to diminish the trauma that anybody felt, and also people that hear the story. And this is people don't get this. People can hear the story and be traumatized because you come to the conclusion that could have been me. In the black community, a lot of black guys, black men, we see situations and we frequently will look at this situation and say, for God's grace, that could have been me. I've been there, done that, I was in that space, that could have been me. So the reason I'm making this point is, somebody may be looking at this event and say, okay, it's just this guy, right? And it's not just that guy. There can be other people who receive that could have been them. So you're like, well, why is that person reacting that way? You have this line of things that happen during your life, and then you get to this point, and you see a lot of this with females in situations of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Excuse me, can we
Yes.
just pause for a second? Can we just pause?
Sure.
That could have been me, God. Oh, God, that could have been me, Jesus. Oh, God, they would have shot me. They would have killed me. I won't stop. I won't stop, God.
I want to suggest a break. Just for about 5 minutes.
I won't stop, God. I won't stop, God.
And some breaths.
Oh, God. 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 Yes, God. Oh, God. They gonna feel my pain today. Jesus, I feel you. I feel you, oh, God. Oh, I feel you, God. I feel how they whipped your back. I feel how they bruised you, God. I feel you. I know you're real, God.
Can't nobody tell you otherwise.
I know you're real, God.
Can't nobody tell you otherwise.
I gotta get up.
Go get some.
So I'm a
This is
teacher
very
by trade.
draining.
It's part of what I do.
So listen
And
to this
the
man keep
reason
talking.
I'm still working and the reason I want to be a police chief is for these moments right here. Because growing up, I never saw anybody look like me in charge of a police department. I never saw anybody in those situations that made me feel like they understood. I never saw anybody that communicated with me in a way that I received them, right? That I received them, right? And no matter how difficult it is, I'm glad I'm in this position.
We look around at our
So you talk
administration.
about communicating with different groups of people.
At our
So,
administration.
and I try to make sure that the human side of me, my spirit, comes across as well.
And
Let me give you a little information about our
So-
department. We have about, on an average year,
I really don't want to hear
there are
about this
100
department that's putting me in
complaints within the
danger.
police department. 100. Okay? 100 complaints. Of those 100 complaints, I'm going to put it in these terms. 99 of them, I file on my own people. Only one complaint a year, maybe two, come from the public. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're late, if you're not on your post, if you're not doing what you need to do,
Did you file a complaint?
I handle that internally. I don't get complaints from the community about officers' use of force, bias issues, racist issues. I don't get any of that from the community. And every year, I think there's a list of 17 groups I go meet with every year, right? Just like this, from SGA, staff council, cougar moms, to get whatever issues that they have, right? Whatever concerns that they have. And so I'm always pushing to hear from our community about our issues, right? And then it's my job to take whatever those issues are and bring them back. But I don't get complaints. I'm just sharing with you. 1.5% of all police agencies in the world are accredited. And we are. So most people don't do accreditation because what that means is people are coming in from the outside, looking at your department, determining whether or not you have a good department or not. And so I'm comfortable with what we do. I'm comfortable with our setup to have outside reviewers come in and check our
Oh, we
stuff
gonna see.
to make sure not only
We
do I have the
gonna
appropriate
see.
policies and training, but they check to see if I'm doing what I say I'm doing.
in this meeting that you would like to have with everybody in the future, which I hope will be soon, something that I would consider is not only having you there, but having the soldier that had the event or initiate or was a part of the event there, because this apology that we received from everybody today needs to be heard from the one who was in the incident, in the event. This will not work unless that is established, because he was the one who had the gun in his hands, who pointed it at a black man. period, point blank.
So he has to do that.
That's fine.
We're not worried about us. We're worried about can we get this soldier here so he can apologize to this a black student for pointing a gun at him. That's what I'm trying to get at.
And this speaks less to our passerby, and of course more to the police officer and to training. And this is, I'm asking from my own ignorance. Have you ever seen a white-colored handgun?
Yes.
When, sir? And how rare is it, and in what capacity, if you were?
Okay. You asked me, have I seen a white colored handgun? Yes.
Okay.
There are a lot of ghost guns now. There are guns that are printed that are typically white or really light beige in color. A lot of people do that to hopefully from their position to avoid metal detection and or to make a gun that's not traceable. So there was a time that I did not see guns of that color. When Houston PD did a gun buyback recently, there was one guy that made, because they paid him, I want to say $50 for a gun, and he printed like 250 white ghost guns to make money off of it. So it's not, 20 years ago, I would not have seen no white ghost gun.
Because I was surely about to be like, the last time I saw a white pistol was John Leguizamo in Romeo and Juliet by Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah, but white ghost guns, yeah.
That's a pretty big gun. From that distance, that's a big gun. And the loading dock, open space as it is, like I've been an on and off student here for 12, going on 13 years now, it seems. So that area to the west of us is pretty intimate in my brain. And I still, again, in my ignorance, I still can't shake the fact that there was just enough space to at least clock, because the way the rehearsing was going, this couldn't be low. It couldn't be. What's up? I have had a call called on me once before, 4 years ago here. But that time, I had a weapon prop. My apologies. I've been taught better. I had a prop.
Okay.
In wide open spaces rehearsing. And tell the truth, Dominique. Black cop rolls up. First thing he says is, in his genuity, what the hell is going on? These perspectives are valid. And it hurts to know that it feels like my light was snuffed out because of paper that I, again, in my ignorance. So I would have believed you if you said knife before you said gun. My pain comes from, consider it my trauma before the trauma, consider it the fact I've got some pretty good training. But I need to be selfish. There's holes in this tale that are breaking me. There were 2 people involved with that. Yes. But per my training, I am terrifyingly aware that the gun was meant for me. I will say to the room, the gun was not up. I couldn't 007 the barrel. Because per generations of instinct thrust upon me within milliseconds, look, step, reach, takes it to it, watch it go. Look, step, reach, takes it to it, watch it go because of angling. I knew it was meant for me. But I need it known. It was more than the gun. It's the fact the gun was already out, yes. The guilt was swift, yes. I need you to understand, I did not feel safe moving until I heard the voice of a black sergeant. Who even he was like, put in the statement. Other officers, in their attempt to reconcile and console the situation, burned, imprinted in my memory. Another one came up and was like, you should be proud because you had us tricked. It made it seem like it was planned.
You'd say tricked?
Tricked was the word.
Officer
Officer
Okay.
said you should get an A because you had us tricked.
Okay. I never heard that before. And that ties to what he talked about officers communicating with folks and being humanistic in what they say. Inappropriate, just so you know. Inappropriate. Okay.
And what follows was rumor mill because coming to this building has been difficult, but I got a degree to finish, man.
Hello.
I was informed that it was put upon me. But what was he doing to warrant that response? Rage. Instant rage from me. I was told it came from your mouth. And because Black Mama is a cop, even she's like, what the hell?
I didn't meet with your mother. Assistant Chief met with your
No.
mother. I've never talked.
Again, I confirm. Again, I'm saying this was Willie Roomville. Like I'm hearing things
Okay.
on top of everything, and I'm hearing just foibles in the tale, like the cop said he wasn't comfortable pursuing. Why was that not taken into account? Was it because of time? I don't know that side. I'm focusing on mine. But when someone says, especially these days, that's what we all keep saying, is these days, if a person doesn't say they're comfortable with doing something, they are. How many other officers available? Because the event in question that was going on, it was Better Workers on campus, right? So that means there were ample amount of people that could have answered that call. And the more and more police officers I bring this up to, why are they saying, regardless of color, why was the gun out before?
Wow.
I would say something if it was a varied amount of questions, but it's the same.
When the officers ask you the question about the gun being out, they know that the caller mentioned gun?
No, and that's what I'm figuring out too. And that's what, like, no one, and I'm even wondering too, like, this happened to me, and why am I getting the least amount of
They don't
information.
care. They don't care. Lord God, they don't care.
Okay, this may not be true, but I was told that the information was relayed to you in some form or fashion, that you were given the opportunity to come to the station and listen to the audio so you would hear everything that you're saying.
Listen to the audio!
Oh, good God.
Yes.
Mm.
So is this news to you?
Breaking.
Mm.
Honestly, part of the reason I came this morning against my entire spirit was because I thought I would get some closure from hearing what happened. So again,
I'm so mad. Jesus.
you're just adding the tally marks, and I don't know who, there's so many nuances, so many perspectives, and I can't blame anyone, and it's taking a lot in me to not internalize this and say I'm the problem, because that's just furthering the trauma, furthering the expectation. I was let down.
Okay. I hear you.
I was let down, man. And because from the timeline that I clearly was getting, because it seemed that we weren't going to get help from y'all, the department who I've known for the better part of a decade, over a decade now,
Okay.
did the best they could with the little information they had, and it was botched. I got handed that vest. I cackled because even I thought the same thing you did. I'm like, this is clearly a ploy to get a rise out of somebody. This is clearly to get somebody's attention, right? Because this can't be the solution, right?
Vest suck.
The vests, that's the politically correct version. Yeah.
They got the right one. They got the right one.
Let me just say this. It's actually the vests to me are actually embarrassing.
Very.
That's the word.
punch in the
because
face.
on top of that, I'm glad you said the word embarrassed, because we do operate in semantics around this building.
We're used
Because-
to this
Because that's the word for what happened on that loading dock. Humiliation. I'm literally walking in my worst nightmare right now, and I've been through some shit, but my worst nightmare has been, I don't want to ever be known for something like this. I want to be known for my work and the light that I reach out to people and the advice I can give to people, not because of what was almost martyrdom. This is not how I want to lead God's people. See, even now, I feel armored here. So it's hurting because I am getting breaking news information.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Y'all don't get it.
And then to come here knowing that the ball was dropped, I guess there was just a dependence that it would just go around the school. There was just an expectation it would go around the school, and honestly, I feel like I dropped the ball because, again, the habit to internalize. I talked to the few black students in my general vicinity, expecting that responsibility would be taken, because this is a dastardly situation that to this day, we still do not have the resources, the information. There's so much nuance, but still, y'all dropped the ball. All I have today is that I'm tired and that I have been let down, and that's really all I have for myself. But for the folks that are coming after me, be better stewards. Because this is a domino effect, to which I've been coming to this school. Blessed to say I'm working. Even through the pandemic, I come back and I see some new artwork, some new TVs. AC is busted. Not, we're either saunted out of the building or we're freezing out of the building. So where else is there to go but outside? I remember an annex attempted to be built. I remember the conversations about the costume shop being expanded. It was gonna be glorious. I have the mythos of what happened. Maybe that needs to be put out. Why this building has been robbed when we have a Moore School of Music getting all this goddamn money, an art school with a museum. It makes no goddamn sense how behind this particular building seems to be. Meanwhile, I've done SGA, I was a business minor, did the honors college, so I know how beautiful all these other buildings look.
Oh, y'all know.
I get where we are, I get where we're not. How are we competing when resources that can be taken from various places, if you want to, yeah? There's too much money going through this campus. How do I know? Look at the goddamn stadiums. That clearly I'm still paying for after I graduated with my BFA. This is a long-term domino effect, and it breaks me because it landed on me. It's not just the police. It's the U in UHPD. It's the university.
Good call.
Oh, y'all. The fact that I am alive right now is by God and God alone. You can fight me if you want to.
Yes, God.
I sat at that loading dock to just replay. What did I look like? What was going through that cop's brain? Because as an actor, I'm supposed to put myself in the other person's shoes. So everything you said, I know it's gonna sound bad. I get it. I have a lot of perspective and I refuse to be underestimated for my understanding. And I own where my lack of understanding is. But I've also been here and I have the grays to prove it, the cuts and bruises to prove it, and now I've got the trauma to prove it. Yeah, it's basic communication on a lot of fronts. I come to school still hoping that I can find that light again, if I can just sit in the room and support everybody else, because sadly no one really knows how to support me after what happened, and they're doing their best, and God bless them for it. But when you carry this for this long, you almost want that cop to pull the trigger that day because the aftermath is just too fucking great. Survivor's guilt, man, is real. To hear people call me an inspiration and not understand why. To hear people continue to call me strong, not knowing that I have been told to do that since March 1st, 1992. You understand what that's like. I'm tired, sir. I just need somebody to know. Forgive me, I'm tired. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Speak your truth, boy. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
And I hope this doesn't look like I'm running or abandoning, but
Yeah, we can't keep doing this. I don't know what y'all think this is. Get the
what my
fuck up.
spirits called me to do today, and I'm thankful for the space.
Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. This is over. This is over. Girl, get the hell up. This is over. Y'all fucking tripping. Y'all tripping. Let me go get this interview with Daily Cougar so they can know what the hell just went the fuck down, cause y'all is crazy, honey. Y'all ain't gonna stop me from sharing this story.
I don't remember who chose that.
Y'all, I almost spazzed the first when we was upstairs though, and that banging. Oh no, I was pissed. I said no, I would not sit here. Y'all not even trying to listen to us. We don't even have a space for y'all to hear us. Y'all couldn't give us a microphone. Y'all couldn't give us the biggest stage. Y'all, this not big enough for y'all. I gotta make this big for y'all.